Now, Greg, I'm sure you bet it called high enough all the time.
Well, yeah,
Too high. My mic is too high.
Well, welcome to Carnival of Randomness on Get Mad Radio, and the beauty of me, Rob, being host is I can eat a burrito and I don't have to insult myself. But when he's not doing gigs, when he's not co-hosting this marvelous show, now Greg is taking up bratwurst cooking in Bavaria. How's that going? You gonna start bringing in for the guests?
I'm mustering up the skill little by little.
Remember, German vegetarians fear the worst. And we have some brownie points for our guests, and I'm very thrilled. You can use it on your show.
Oh, can I?
We have my good friend, and he's on WRUR 88.5 every Saturday, bringing you back to the great music, 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, and a whole lot of shaking. It's the one, the only, Mike Murray.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today, baby.
That's right, yeah.
Thanks.
Are you shaking? Are you shaking at this moment?
Not enough coffee. Once I get done with this large cup, yes.
Okay.
But the thing about, not only like when you listen to the show, you create, number one, too, you also venerate the great Lawrence Welk, and if you don't play him, and I appreciate that.
Well, I have to, I mean, my brother-in-law is his number one fan, so.
But you bring back also the whole feel of a different era.
That's the attempt. That's what I'm trying to do, actually, what I'm attempting to do, just because I remember it, and it was so much fun. I remember when, to me, the radio was fun before it was a contest. Hey, call in for the contest. There were always contests.
Right. Yeah, I know. I won the Outlaws and New Riders of the
There
Purple
you go.
Sage
Oh,
tickets.
hey, I got to the Beatles multimedia production that came out in 77.
I actually won something from Channel 10, WHEC radio. I was listening to it. I won some kind of tickets for a Christmas thing or something.
There you go.
That was the coolest part,
crazy.
because I call up, you're like supposed to be colored. I'm listening. I think it was MJQ, because I would listen to all those shows like Dr. Demento, but it was somebody call up, and I go, it's like caller number 7. Call up again. Caller number 8, you won. Then I'm like trying to act all cool. He mispronounced my name on the air. But the cool part was I'm like, this is awesome. This is great. Then I go, I have to have my mom pick me up instead of a car, take up a ticket, instead of a car. But since we always talk music, and you'll always be back again, I thought we'd go back, since I've talked about that you create this atmosphere, talk about some of how the pop culture was in those days and things that we enjoyed. So I'm going to pose a serious question about you. It's very serious.
Please, no posing. No posing.
Now, when you woke up, on Saturday mornings, what were your go-to cartoons?
Well, it all depends when.
Now,
I
you
think
can
the big
obviously
ones.
go through the years.
Well, you've got Underdog early on.
Yeah, I love
I'm in
Underdog.
single digits in the 60s, so Underdog, and then there in 67, CBS had it down. Frankenstein Jr. and the Impossibles, Space Ghosts. It was, and of course, Johnny Quest was on all the time. I remember when it was on at nighttime.
Yeah.
And the
7:30
Flintstones was on before that, I think. But, those are the big ones. And I love the Banana Splits later on. Come on, sorry, but I did. And all the Hanna-Barbera, the Herculoids, big one. Did you
ever see the Moby Dick one?
Yeah.
See, I found that I never saw it before.
There you go.
But the one I love, for me, Underdog has a special place in my heart. And there was, when we grew up, there was, I remember 2 things from my childhood, like that rock candy and Underdog.
I found a DVD set of some of those.
And rock candy is actually, you wouldn't want to eat it now. It's basically pure sugar that looks like a rock.
Or maybe you will.
Not to be confused with another rock.
No, not like that.
But the thing was, for Underdog, it wasn't. Now, for me, I don't remember it being on Saturdays. It was before I went to school at 6 in the morning.
Yeah, well, that was after the fact,
I would
because you're a
get
few years younger than I am. Yeah. Well, Bullwinkle and Hoppity Hooper were a big two.
Oh, yeah.
And Bullwinkle still is just amazing.
Yep.
It's hysterical.
Now,
I bought the box sets of those. The thing about Bullwinkle, if I can digress a bit.
Yeah.
So that was all done by, what's his name there?
Jay Ward.
P. Ward, yeah. And all that kind of goes back to Stan Freberg.
Yeah, I could see that.
Stan Freberg with a satirical humor on the business. Did you ever hear his Christmas one?
Oh, I played it before, yeah. And then the
boardroom
Dragnet,
Christmas,
and he was on a Monkees episode, the automated, where Peter goes to look for a job, and it's the automated computer was going to match him up and all that. Freberg is, anyway.
But so those guys were all kind of in the same racket with the satire and stuff. and the box sets. There's some stuff. The daughter, Ward's daughter, kind of explains a lot of that stuff. But he kind of went back to the whole movie serial thing with Dudley
what will happen next week?
Yeah, Dudley Do Right, and that was like, oh no, and I mean, it was just great.
Well, Dudley Do Right and Beanie and Cecil was that is insane.
It is like where was the rest of him?
I can't do it. Actually, we need Stan Merrill because he does the best. He does Stan the Man because he does the best impression of Rocky the Flying Squirrel. Howdy, Bowie! I can't do it, but I also think you look back on those. And now you watch them now and you see, that's the beauty of it, where I'm always anti-censorship, but I like the idea of, okay, you have censorship and you have to sneak it around. Now as an adult, you watch like Fractured Fairy Tales.
That's beautiful.
As a kid that you did get, because like for me, I thought like I got my moral guidance from Batman. And then, I took it very seriously, but now I get all the jokes.
The Cold War jokes. Who got that stuff?
Yeah, well, and another one. Channel 10 used to have the Marvel superheroes on at 4 o'clock after school. And there was Tobor the Eighth Man, which was probably the first anime series broadcast in the U.S.
There was another one, too, Eight Man.
Yeah, that's Tobor the Eighth Man.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. But there was a Speed Racer after that. I don't know.
Speed Racer was after.
Yeah, but Tobor the Eighth Man.
I love that
Robot backwards. Ooh.
See, and I don't care. I still, they just took like the comic book cells. I love those.
Yeah,
they're still my favorite. I've just been watching them online, the Fantastic Four ones.
Oh, I watched a couple the other night. Actually, I did rewatch the recent movie. I liked it. I saw it in 3D the first time, and man, 3D has come a long way.
Which one? Which
Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
3D, holy.
Well, as you know, on the Carnival, we go on tangents, and I just watched it too.
Tangent
My
alert.
only thing is, they did it the way I've been pressing them to do it, that make it retro, because the FF really falls into that category.
Yeah.
The only thing, and I know they did Shell a Ball, because I guess the idea was, and I had no problem with it, they had the idea that, I guess they're going to have Nora and Rand, and because this is a different universe.
Yeah.
That's the way they did Shell a Ball. But the thing that got me a little bit, they did Galactus was a big guy.
Yeah.
He wasn't a cloud. It was just
Galactus.
Cool.
A cloud,
But the only thing that got me is, okay, this guy's immortal. Why is he looking for air?
Just let it go. Just let it go. Don't
accept it. Accept it.
Yeah.
Guys fly. People have shit coming
what
out
is
of their
it
eyes.
in Austin Powers? Well, how can I be going back to the future? Because I'm going to the past. I'm going to the future. And he and Michael,
Mike Myers.
No, the other guy, the British actor there.
Michael Caine.
No, it wasn't Michael Caine.
Michael York.
Michael York.
We'll get it, Michael's right.
They look in the camera and go, I wouldn't worry about that. I suggest you don't either. I'm like, perfect,
it's the only thing on this show I can't tolerate. It's lack of respect for other cultures in the Dutch.
Oh, yeah, they're terrible to the Dutch in that movie. He and Michael Caine, yeah.
But it's like, it's like the pro wrestlers. Like, there's like, no, it is. It's like, my weird analogy is like the foreign heels. There was like a wrestler who flopped. It was like Ludwig Borga. He was a Finnish evil foreign heel.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I'm really mad about Finland.
I'm mad about Finland. Watch out. Well, I remember, when Championship Wrestling, and they'd open it up with Mason Williams and Classical Gas at the beginning, and Chief White Owl and Haystacks Calhoun, and I was just.
I remember a guy named Martinez or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, Chief James Strongbow from that well-known tribe on the Jersey Shore.
Oh, yeah.
No, the big one for that was, I remember Dick the Destroyer Bayer, like, he's with his mask, and I wrote to him. He owned Destroyer Park Golf, and he said, I was, because you can't find any footage. Some guy hit him with a garbage can. He comes back the next week. And he's wearing a big bandage on his mask. But I met Greg the Hammer Valentine, and I said, they had the Fargo brothers. They're my favorite. That was him and his dad. But what they did was, they should have sent it to notice the age difference. So he remembered this.
I went to one wrestling thing at the Blue Cross, formerly.
It's the War Memorial.
It's always a War Memorial.
83 I went, yeah.
It was one of those guys, and people were just going bananas. And they're throwing chains. How'd they even get those things in there? And they're throwing chains in the ring, like, here, hit him with this.
Classy Freddie Blossie's like behind one. Somebody hit him with an egg and bore him the egg in the eye. It's like sometimes some of our shows we have to run out of here.
Oh my God!
But they have to park like the heels 2 blocks down because people slice their cars and stuff.
Pro wrestling.
Oh yeah, I mean that was like another thing of those. But going back for me for cartoons too, I loved a lot of the live action type things in the 70s, and I don't know if they were all Sid and Marty Krofft, but Lost Saucer,
Lidsville.
I used to be like such a sweet thing. I used to look like Brad Pitt that I started watching Lidsville.
With Butch Patrick and Charles Nelson Riley.
The Lidsville guy.
Don't remember that one.
Yeah, Lidsville and H.R. Puff and stuff. I mean, talk about bizarre. Show me the flute.
Come on, man. That title alone is worth it.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I still picture like Witchy Poo, Oranges, Porridges.
I'll tell you, though, when the Pee-wee's Playhouse came out, I mean, that was a nod to all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But it was really well done. I used to enjoy that show.
Well, it was, what's his name? The wizard guy was from Blackula. He was, Professor Daystrom from Star Trek was one guy, and then he had Little Richard on the show. I mean, you can't get much better than that.
Oh, I know.
I've noticed like the 6 degrees of separation for all this stuff because if I'm somehow home, I'll watch Gunsmoke and Emergency, and you see Robert Fuller in both of them.
I know.
And I'm going, okay, now he's like the grandfather of the guy who became Dr. Kelly.
Well, I was thinking about that over the weekend because I was going down the rabbit hole on Lone Ranger on Amazon.
Oh, yeah, I've been watching that too. And you see DeForest Kelley could get off the train.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting at. So you got all these character actors in TV for all those years, and this one's on this show. Oh, there's the guy from this. Oh, wow, he was there's that lady that, and they just like radio, they just had a stock bunch of players, and they just kept plugging them into different parts.
I'll never forget, like, the one text I get from my friend, Spock's on Gunsmoke.
Yeah.
But that was it. William Marshall. Yeah, he was...
Blackula,
the Shakespearean actor.
Yeah.
He was on Star Trek.
That's what I just said. Yeah, he was on the, M1.
But one thing I noticed on that show is they're pretty... The stories were all pretty much the same blueprint.
Yeah.
A family in trouble or some kind of double cross or... Anyway. But I noticed the big difference when the show went to color. Like all those shows changed when they went to color in the later 50s. They photographed more outside. It wasn't quite such a phony baloney looking set piece. And it was much more vista. There was much more of a vista look to it.
A wide vista.
And they were outside. They shot outside, which I like my westerns outside.
Oh, yeah. They can't be inside. No, sure. Unless you're getting shaved and then Clint Eastwood walks in. But
that's right.
Well, that's funny because there's a meme, like you sent me it even about now they're filming in Star Trek on the alien planet that looks like L.A.
Yeah, why do all the alien planets in the Star Trek universe look like Southern California?
We all thought the moon was Utah.
But I remember one of them, I'm looking at it, then I'm going... Then I saw the movie White Comanche, which has to be seen to be believed with William Shatner. And I'm looking, going, wait a second, did he film this between breaks? It's like the same rocks.
Well, yeah, it's always the same. Where he chased the Gorn or the Gorn chased him, whatever. It's all the same.
Forever ruined my life there because I think it was on at, for me, maybe, I think it was on at 7 o'clock by the time I was watching it. But, I would watch that religiously. And the thing was, I remember the Gord episode, the first time I saw it, terrified me. So
Kirk.
Yes.
I will be
But who would know? Because Captain Kirk, any of us could just go walk around now. Well, this will... Wait, he's figuring it out. It's good.
And you make an elementary lathe.
Yeah.
That's the...
So I'm going... I'm like actually
Quest.
literally... I'm a kid, and I literally was like Night Stalker until I saw, the zipper on the back of the suit. I was terrified.
Night Stalker was great because it's finally a sci-fi show on TV when I was 14. What used to scare me to death was Night Gallery.
Oh, yeah.
Oh... But the thing, like with the Star Trek, which ruined it for me, is my grandmother, because I'm terrified about the gore, and I'm going, Kirk, he's going to bite it. And my grandmother goes, he'll be fine. So well, he's the star of the show. break the reality of it. Tell me there's no Santa while you're at it.
Yeah.
The Easter Bunny said there's no Santa.
No, Night Gallery, there's the one with Spock. I keep calling with Spock. With the vampire in the canal.
Oh, it's there's some the one with the doll that goes after the guy.
Talking Tina.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill you.
No, that's
that
Twilight
Zone.
Yeah, where Telly Savalas bit the dust. When yeah.
But the one with the earworm was horrifying.
Oh, yeah.
They were all good. Or the one Agnes Moorehead passed away and her shadow was still on the wall because she lived with her daughter and her husband, and he didn't like her, and I don't know if he killed her or whatever. He probably did, and her shadow just stayed on the wall the whole time.
I think he did something good for us, though, because I had a cousin, and his parents were very, very strict about what he could watch. He's like a scaredy cat about stuff. Now, for me, I was terrified. I'm lucky when I grew up, but you got used to it.
Yeah.
So, he couldn't take that kind of stuff.
Well, all those comics were huge then. House of Mystery, DC, everybody had a horror...
Famous Monsters or something. Yeah. Well, the thing is, those One Step Beyond is another one. They're not gory or anything else,
they're just
they're creepy.
Yeah,
and that and Night Gallery were creepy. It didn't necessarily like Creep Show where there's, blood all over the place, which, it still works. But these were just, you didn't need any of that. They just scared you.
Now going back to cartoons,
those are the best.
Again, everybody's got to be, for me, Super Friends.
There you go. No, it was after my time. You can
still confess you watched it.
No, I did because, when you're like 14, you're not getting out of bed till like 11 o'clock, and I had a TV there. So I think I watched Tarzan was a good one.
Yep.
I watched the, Shazam Isis Hour, but basically for, what's her name, who played Isis?
What about Electro Boy and Dyna Girl? Come on.
They had this villain, I always laugh about him. He would be like your nightmare if you had a show. Like it's Mike, the crime-fighting DJ. There's a guy called Glitter Rock.
Oh, God.
This is a villain he called Glitter Rock.
They did. You gave me that book, that a Go-Go book.
Yeah.
He gave me this crazy book with all this 60s cartoon stuff. And I'm looking at it, I don't remember half of this stuff. And, I remember a lot of it, but not, there was some that, it amazes me how many ideas they tried, like, oh, yeah, the kids will buy this. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it reminds me of that little bit that people repeat where Zappa would talk about the music industry. And he goes, back when it started, there were these old guys smoking cigars. They didn't know what it was.
Right.
So they'd record anything and put it out, and if throw it against the wall, if it sticks, we're good.
True.
But then Frank said, now you started getting people in there who were music critics, the hippie or whatever, who started out bringing coffee to all these old guys and then eventually rises up and through the system and then says, well, wait a minute, we can't put that out because that's just not cool.
Right.
Where these old guys were like, we don't know what it is, so put it out. And you got a lot of different sounds.
Yeah, people forget that rock and roll was actually a new thing at one point.
No, at one point, I think...
and that's same with TV, I would think.
Right.
Jim Dre, made this point when he was on the one time about, like, back in the day, too, you had guys who would give you a little bit of a... like, these days, Quicksilver Messenger Service, Dylan, bye.
Yeah.
They didn't sell... You had to go, but then they liked the music, so they still did it.
Well, Dylan sold.
Yeah. Well, his first album did it? I know, I'm talking about more Quicksilver.
Yeah, Quicksilver. Yeah, Quicksilver did, but they were, they were, when we first started doing the show, people would start, hey, play some Quicksilver? I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know. I only have 2 hours.
Yeah.
A lot of that music when I was younger, I'd buy it because I thought it was cool, going to be cool stuff. And then you put it on and go, man, this doesn't rock. It doesn't do it.
It just goes on. It's just guys
it just kind of
entertaining
drones on.
themselves. and that's good if that's your thing.
That's
but
like
it's not my thing. I'm an AM radio guy.
It's their version of, I'm going to leave you. It's pretty good. Okay, 20 minutes later, it's, are you like... cooking in the background?
Well, that was another thing on radio. It was free form, and they might play a song I loved, and then I'd wait for the next song. I'd wait for the break, and the next song would be 9 minutes long.
Right.
And then maybe another song that's 5 minutes long. And by that time, I'm not going to sit here and listen to it.
No, my introduction to that was when I got Song Remains the Same. The Days of Confusion, 20 minutes long. Yeah. And I'm going, I can't believe this.
No, the parties they played it at, people weren't getting up to changing the records.
Yeah. But I think also one of the big quandaries of those days, and I remember I was always waiting with bated breath when they would announce the cartoon schedule.
Oh, yeah.
But the horror of if something was at the same time. Because remember, kiddies, we didn't have DVR. So the quandary was if you had, like, I remember Tarzan played the same time as Electric Woman and Dyna Girl.
Okay.
Which was tough.
Yeah. Well, the Hardy Boys, that was another one they had. It was like a Hot Wheels cartoon, I think. I don't remember. Yeah, it was like a Hot Wheels cartoon towards the end of the 60s. That's all.
And then the one
residue here now.
And then, like, Fat Albert, which I cried.
Oh, that was funny. I had to watch that.
That was my favorite Bill Cosby thing.
Yeah.
You know what I had? Oh, man, I'm so mad that I don't still have it. I had it when I was a kid, and I don't know, somehow just, stuff gets lost. I had an actual LP of Quick Draw McGraw soundtracks.
Oh!
Like, it was all the cartoons, but it was just the audio.
Oh, yeah, all those guys.
Oh, it was awesome.
All those Hanna-Barbera guys. El Kabong and, all that. Yeah, Quick Draw McGraw and the Huckleberry
Snooper
Hound.
Blabber.
Yeah.
Huckleberry.
Dixie and Dixie.
I can see you doing, like, the remake of Citizen Kane. Quick Draw McGraw. For him. But I have all those, too. I actually picked up one thing when you're kids. Kid years go differently than, sadly, cherish your time because the years go by fast.
Oh, they start moving.
And, but I remember now, like, getting some episodes, like I got Wacky Races, Perils of Penelope Pit Stop, and some of those.
Oh, yeah, I used to watch that, yeah.
And the thing about all these cartoon shows, everything we mentioned pretty much, I think Bullwinkle's an exception, a few of them are, but they were like all those Sid and Marty Krofft, because actually, like, a lot of the Sid and Marty Krofft shows were expensive.
Well, yeah.
But, so when you go, wow, I'm going to have like 60 episodes of this, wait a second, they made 17.
Right.
Show them again and again. And you're a kid, you're like, okay, this one's on again, I'll watch it, because I've got nothing else to do.
They chop them up and rearrange them, I think, too.
But it's amazing how quick it flies like that. You think they're on for 5 years. There's another one for me, another big favorite of mine was Land of the Lost.
Oh, yeah, it was that. That was great. That was one where I was laying in bed at 14, 15 years old going, no, I want to watch this. This is kind of cool.
I remember when Johnny Quest came out, I thought that was like the epitome of ultra animation.
Actually, the first time I hounded my parents into actually getting me something were those Red Ball Jets that Johnny had. I was like, I got it.
But the artwork was better than most of the cartoons.
They try to make it a mature kind of thing,
Yeah.
Race even has his old girlfriend in one of those episodes, and she helps him out. So,
even like Land of the Lost, it's a lot deeper show than a lot of people. We were kids. Yeah, it was fun, and I still don't think old Grumpy would have really hurt anyone. I just can't. He's a little puppy. Chaka. But the thing was, this was like by some real like top-notch sci-fi writers.
Yeah.
I think Norman Spinrad wrote one. Theodore Sturgeon wrote them. David Gerald, I guess he didn't really write as much as he helped like sort of co-develop it.
Well, the plots were good. I mean, it wasn't just to throw away each week, here comes the monster, how do we get away?
Yeah.
And the idea was if you go behind the sleeve
dimensions
stacks, they hinted at this was like they're the remnants of a dead civilization.
Yeah.
And the thing was, I guess like the Rick Marshall, he quit because isn't that amazing? Then the uncle falls down the waterfall.
Well, there you go. He quit. Hey, your uncle's coming.
But I guess he quit on principle because they gave him a raise, and he said, "Look, these kids are working hard too. They got to get a raise."
Yeah.
And so he didn't just quit because of that.
So we're not giving you a raise. Okay.
One thing I noticed about some of these older shows too, it seems like all of a sudden they have rediscovered intros and things that you never saw before. Like there's a whole thing on Lone Ranger where he after that part where he comes up and he rears up the horse up on the big rock, and then it fades out. Well, there's a whole other section where he turns around, goes back down the hill, and then there's a voiceover.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah. But those were gone for years and years.
Yeah, they put them in because they need content. So, because content now is expensive and boring, frankly.
They used to have a little thing for the commercial break with the wheat fields.
Yeah.
They show the wheat field in the background.
Yeah,
After this important message, and all
Ozzie
that.
and Harriet, Kodak, it's time for the... Oh,
I love
you.
Ozzie and Harriet.
Lawrence Welk did Jericho ads. I
remember that. The Land of the Lost, the Sleestak who was...
the wise guy?
The wise guy, it was Vic Perrin from Outer Limits. That was him. It was his voice, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Vic Perrin, remember from Superman on the episode with the boat?
Yeah.
The weird captain, he was the first mate.
He was that, and
he's in hundreds of radio shows.
Oh, he's in Peter Gunn and all that. Well, yeah, that's an old. I was listening to an old Dragnet show from around 1950, a radio show.
Yeah.
And they arrest this guy who's a real pain, and it's Harry Morgan. So it's kind of funny to hear him.
Yep.
You know,
he reformed, became a top.
He's like, leave me alone.
I just watched him as a heavy in this movie called Red Light with George Raft.
Well, it's George Raft. Somebody had to get hit.
It was great. Oh, man. Well, his brother was a priest, and he gets knocked off, and he goes on this ballistic revenge thing.
Well, I actually, in prep, I watched The Adventures of Superman last night.
Oh, I love
This was the one with Mr. Zero.
Oh, God.
The poor little Martian guy who was too short, so they kicked him off the planet.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to be 4 feet and a half, and I'm 4 feet. And then, but they had, it's always, I'm going, wait a second, it's the same crooks that are like every 2 episodes.
Oh, it's the same guys,
But they had the best name. One of the crooks named Shifty Magoon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's like last night on Batman, the Grand Order of Occidental Nighthawks.
Yeah.
The Goons.
Yeah.
And, of course, Paul Revere and the Raiders come out and they play at Pengy's campaign for mayor.
Right.
And I'm like, vote for Pengy.
It's amazing how that storyline keeps popping back. Penguin for mayor. They did it
Penguin
in
for
the
mayor.
movies. They did it.
Well, I always like the quote. It's like, don't worry, the citizens will. I'm going, yeah, you haven't been to this century.
Well, even that century, everybody's laughing.
Well, and I always laugh, too, about Mayor Lindsay.
Mayor Lindsay, that's right.
Well, see, they stole, even that Batman, a lot of that was based on the old...
Serial?
No, the movie serials and the Stan Freberg type humor.
Yeah, because the comic book people were not happy with the presentation of Batman, but it was pop art, it was something new,
Well,
and it was totally hysterical.
I have always maintained that it was a living comic book. And it was like, if this shit was real, this is how absurd it would be. That's kind of what I think they were doing.
Good point.
But anyway, and you go, wow, that is pretty weird. That's a weird little world they got going.
But it's a genius because they could have been ruined easily because Adam West, they played it straight. And now that would have been red if you did the little wink.
Well, that's like Airplane. They had to play it totally straight to make it work. Otherwise, it wouldn't have worked. And Leslie Nielsen, and that was the funny thing when it came out, is that he was always the heavy in a lot of these shows, whether, the detective shows in the 70s and everything. And I'm like, this guy, how can he be funny? And boy, was he.
Oh, but even the ones was like the one about they get away from the one trap from Catwoman. And Robin's like, I think, Batman, but do we get away all these just because we're smarter? He's like, no, dear boy, I think it's because we're pure of heart. Or telling women, are we crossing the street? Make sure you look both ways.
Well, they had one where they actually, remember, they got out of the giant teacup or whatever it was.
Oh, yeah.
Which was a direct steal from the Leave It to Beaver episode.
Sure, that's right, the Beav.
But he made some fourth wall comment about, Batman, sometimes I think these crazy things are almost like written for us, or something weird like that.
Always the one my favorite from the movie about, gee, Batman, we have all this. There's all these characters running around in weird costumes around the Bowery. It's a low filled with rum pots.
Yeah.
He said,
gosh, Batman, I'm glad we can't trust you.
He said, Leave It to Beaver. That's one thing with breaking the fourth wall. Almost. It's a real early one, I remember, where Beaver's in love with their neighbor. He's just a little kid.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm in love with her. I think
Who's
she's
Phyllis
in love
Coates,
with me.
I believe.
Was it Phyllis Coates?
I think so.
And he goes to Ward Cleaver's dad. He goes, Dad, can a guy get in trouble for fooling around with the neighbor's wife? And he goes, yeah, he sure could. It was like, and he said, why, Beaver? But you wouldn't expect that from him. Maybe Eddie Haskell, but
Well, they had another one, which I mention every now and then, where one of Beaver's student friends was new, and he was giving him all these gifts.
Oh, yeah, that was on the other day.
And he was swiping them, right?
Yeah, he was stealing stuff.
And remember the section where they go, well, God has eyes everywhere. He can see everything. How would that even fly now?
Oh, no, you'd go to jail for that. I was listening to that. He goes, well, there is someone else watching you.
Yeah.
Who, the teacher? You guys? And June goes, no, God.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I got it.
I had my one tormented moment from an episode of Leave It to Beaver because I happened to remember I went to high school in the 80s, Catholic school, and there was an episode where Beaver wears this shirt to school and sees a girl has it. He says, I got this cool, and it had like these cool, and I used to try to, like, the dress codes, like if you were a guy, you had to be really careful. I mean, if you were a girl, you could usually get away with a little more, but I would do it so it was like almost like a sweater. So I look in the hall, and there's a girl wearing the thing. Like, if anybody sees this.
Gee, Wally.
I never had that trouble at Carney. Did we, Andy?
I heard at Carney was the opposite, where they were really strict on the women for dress. Because I knew a lot of Carney people in college.
Well, we just had shirt
For you listening at home, that's Bishop Carney Catholic High School in Rochester, New
Cardinal
York.
Mooney, which is
defunct.
They are long gone.
Yeah. Well, Carney's still here.
Carney's still here.
But there was like the old joke about that I almost was going to open the show with, but it's so lame about, well, back in our day, we had to scale the Himalayas to get to school. My cousin went to Mooney, but he lived on Bonesteel Street.
Uphill on one foot.
But what happens is if you're a 2-mile limit, he just missed it. So it's not that far, but it's called Rochester.
Yeah.
And some of the winters, and his mom didn't drive. His dad worked. He had to go. He said one time he had to go at 6 in the morning to try to get to school.
I used to. My dad would take me. I'd get there at like 7. I'd be like,
But one thing
we had a jukebox in the cafeteria, so we were able to play tunes at 8 o'clock.
You know what? The one thing I'm happy about, like talking about old cartoons, like some of the shows, like I watched The Rookies a couple years ago. Yeah. It's one of those that just didn't stand up for me. That's everybody's opinion. You know, you may like it, you may not.
They had a different point of view
but I love the Mod Squad.
In the late 60s and early 70s, before it was like, good guys win, good guys win, good guys win. Then in the mid-60s, who is the good guy?
Right.
And so you had these just milquetoast endings where you didn't know what was going on. And it's like that movie Duel. I remember watching it going, It's a car. Run it off the road. Do something, Get out of the car. Climb up the mountain. It can't get you there. And it's just like, oh, God, I hate the 70s, And then when I saw Star Wars, and I'm like, okay, it's over finally.
There was a really good thing on Netflix, if you haven't seen it yet, called 1975. Have you seen that?
I've seen part of it, yeah.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. I mean, and I look at all those movies, and I wasn't a big 70s moviegoer myself because I was going to school, and I didn't have time for a lot of that stuff. But a lot of those movies just don't interest me. All that violence and all that other stuff. I mean, like you say, once Star Wars and Superman hit, then it was kind of like, we're
good
saved.
Guy, bad guy. Good guy, and there's no ambiguity there. Not that there isn't in life, but you're going to be entertained most times. You want to see something else, go to an art house. God bless you.
You know what I've been saying? I've been saying this about music, there's the idea about the artist and the art. That's your own personal choice, but there's the whole story that came out over the holidays about Jackie Coogan. He had like the 3.
Jackie Coogan.
That's his name, right, from Frosty the
Snowman.
Yeah,
Frosty the
Snowman. He had like the 3 different lives.
Oh, was that him, or was it Jackie Coogan was
Fester?
Yeah.
Oh, Jackie, whoever it was.
Yeah. Jackie Cooper?
Somebody,
I think so.
I get my Jackies mixed
Perry
up.
White guy.
But the thing was, about that, I go, okay, take any show you want. I was in here, we talked about that. It's called acting.
Yeah.
Don't let it, because, they're not, they might be a little weird. It's a movie.
Whatever. They're
music.
playing someone else.
Yeah.
it's okay.
Don't take it so seriously.
Whoever they are behind that mask, that's fine. But, on the screen, that's what they're doing. So, judge the performance,
and everybody
not the
we
nut
have,
job.
like, for some characters, if they've gone, when I say cross the line really bad, it's not going to happen. But for most part, and they grow up, like, in the weird bubble, they're going to be kind of odd.
I've always found it interesting the way we always go back and say, the good old days with the social morals of the story. But if you look at some of these other things in the stories, these guys snuck in a lot of adult stuff.
Yeah.
Like, remember the Superman, the dog who knew Superman, right? That one. And the villain and his girlfriend, and she is the bitchiest, and she is just like, just one more time, because her
father. Make a connection? I don't know.
Her father's a mob boss, so she's got the clout, right? So she's like, you find that dog. If you don't find that dog, and he's like, okay, and he's scared to death of her, and she's just a typical demanding, and then like on Lone Ranger, I'm watching this thing and they constantly just call him Injun.
Well, that's
nobody calls him.
Well, he played lacrosse for the Rochester Iroquois back, and he was from Buffalo, I think. He played for Buffalo teams. He played for Rochester.
I remember reading he went to Ben Franklin for a while.
Yeah, he went to Franklin for a while. So yeah. So,
but I look at that as you got to there's so much. Life is too short to get all up. It was the times, okay.
Sure. I'm just making the point that the poor guy Tonto or Lone Ranger respects him, but everybody else, what do you want, Injun?
Look, I'm part Italian, and I'm watching It's a Wonderful Life the other night, and he goes, I don't want to play nursemaid to a bunch of garlic eaters, What do you think he's talking about, No, you don't want to hear it, but some people are jerks.
It was a horror movie. It was a vampire movie. I don't want to keep it But one of the segues I wanted to get into, because recently we had the last game at, I still call it Rich Stadium, whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is today.
And I won't go into my view on any of the Vikings, Bills, anybody else.
No, we don't want to talk about those guys anymore.
Stadium funding, though. I mean, that's some show that's not fun. But I remember, and we have to go back. For me, I still watch football, but it's not the same.
No.
And I will say, not only listen to a whole lot of Shakin' for the music, it makes the best substitute NFL game commentary in the world.
And, I used to watch This Week in the NFL and put on my Beatle records and turn the sound down. So I guess it might have come from that.
Look, you could have Chris Collins with Tony.
Oh, no. Oh, Aikman. Oh, no, please. No.
And I don't even mind Brady as much as somebody's growing on me worse every time. It's like you're rich. You don't have to do this whole
I just hit the mute button. I know what's going on.
But the thing was, these were in the days when I remember it was like a ritual, and I think because now it's the season's too long, there's too much.
It is.
But growing up, it would always be the ritual, good old church, good old worldwide news, go bowling.
Oh, yeah.
And then what you would be doing is, you get to the 4:00 game, you'd be going around looking for the ending. That was it.
Yeah.
And then there was Monday Night Football.
That was it. Now, it's overkill. To be fair, I watched the two games that were on January 3rd at night. But it's overkill. Like today, I don't care. I don't think anything. It doesn't matter at this point. I can
predict this, and maybe of course, we're recording and this comes out, I might be right. I see in the stars watch the Ravens beat the Bills in the playoffs.
I wouldn't be surprised. They're walking on wounded legs. But you know what? Right now, you just have no idea. I think this year is a crapshoot, and I think whoever gets hot. The Seahawks look great.
But it was just a lot more fun in those days. And I always was given the privilege during school that I'd be able to watch. I'd get to watch Howard Cosell's halftime highlights.
That was it, because there were none, as us old guys know. You either had to read them in the paper, you could read the box scores, maybe get a little story. But as far as highlights, the only place you got them was Monday Night Football.
But they were great. Then Inside the NFL when it first
started.
That
was good.
But they had the game of the week, and it would be basically the whole game.
Yeah. Pat Summerall and who else was with him? Dick Stockton, maybe? I don't know.
Now they're worried more about having a cool suit on or something.
Yeah.
But I remember, too, because I remember the last game in Met Stadium, it was the Bills and the Vikings.
Yeah.
And it was a snowstorm.
Well, there should be.
But it just seems like those days there was a lot more fun to me. And I don't want to sound like the old grump.
Well, I will say, that's how I feel. I grouse about it enough. But back in the day, you got the 1:00 game, and they weren't necessarily showing the local team. They switched it around, so you got whatever they showed at 1:00, and on CBS would show the NFC game, and NBC would show the AFC or AFL game or whatever it was. And then you'd have the 4:00 game, 4:30 game, and that was usually somewhere out west because because they're just getting started at 1 or whatever, 1:30, and then you had Monday Night Football. That was it. So now you can watch your favorite team wherever you are. But it's kind of overkill at this point. But I'm an old guy, so what the hell do I?
I feel bad for the people that aren't football fans because
it's on all the time.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, all of a sudden it'd be Monday night, Tuesday, Thursday night.
Yeah, well they're killing, but they don't have any content. The only real content they have are live events. Everything else can be produced and put on a streaming service, and that's now television, quote unquote, is their tester. Okay, we'll put 6 of these episodes on. If they draw enough attention, then we've got something we can move to our streaming service. Whereas,
true.
The NFL, they're just going to be behind a paywall in a few years anyway, so it's getting there real close.
And I was thinking again back to, like, shows and everything, too, when you're a kid, the suspension, because one of my other shows, I'm sure you love it, too, is Space 1999.
Oh, love that.
I never got the
that's a great
concept
show.
of, well, the moon's just flying through, and it gets sucked into Jupiter.
Blowed up real good.
Yeah,
that
or
was
just sucked into some other orbit of a planet.
There was that, and there was, UFO was the first show around 1970, 71.
I guess they almost took Doctor Who off because it was a sci-fi show, so they thought about, okay, Doctor Who's been on 6-7 years, let's do UFO.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that ended up mutating into Space 1999, I think.
Did you ever see Rocky Jones, Space Ranger?
No.
That's out there. It was sort of serialized, but it was a TV show. And it was like, they never had spacesuits or anything. Like, they were in this United Planet type thing, kind of like Star Trek. And this was like late 50s. Mm-hmm. So it was, I forgot the guy's name, the actor. It doesn't matter. So they had this. He had his sort of sidekick, Winky, which is like stupid.
Sure, it's the 50s.
And they had this girl who was like in a little shorty dress and ballerina. Anyway, they had to have that. But they were good stories, and I remember the effects were actually fairly decent. And I read somewhere where they stopped making it because it was too expensive.
Yeah, well,
and these were just like rockets going up.
Yeah, and you're looking like you see. Oh, well, there's the fishing wire.
Before I forget, the Star Lost that came out for a couple of seasons, and it was like a big production. They were going to try and take off on the success of Star Trek in syndication at that point, and the other one was out of Canada, Rocket Robin Hood.
And the one I never saw, Quark. I just never saw Quark, which is too bad. But the other one I have to mention too is I did like the Star Trek animated series. Was really
that was fun, and it was their voices.
And the funny part was that's why you had like the alien, because Walter Koenig said they didn't want to pay him, so he just put like the alien. But it was the real guys.
Yeah, it was.
But I want to go, since we're going back through memory lane, some of the days what were some of the cool toys you always got her as Santa for? And now for me, the big fight on the street was either Big Wheels or Green Machine, and you had to be either in one category or another.
I had creepy crawlers. I had the one where what was the one where you smash them together and then they erupt or whatever. Hot Wheels was a big one. Then there were these. Major Matt Mason was a big one, and then there were these aliens from outer space. There was one for each planet. I can't remember. I remember what they looked like.
I've seen them, though. I don't remember the name, but I've seen them a lot.
Yeah. So those we had too.
Got me on those. I had a rifleman rifle with the big.
Oh, there you go.
I had a shrinking machine.
Yeah.
All had the shrinking
that
machine.
Was it. And any kind of dinosaur.
And the one I want to get back in, so I wanted to go channel my inner rod stored. And I do, if I have time, I want to get back into trains, because I really enjoyed them.
Oh, yeah. I know a guy that can help you out with that. Yeah.
I know a guy who knew a guy.
He's related to me. He's my
girlfriend
son.
has a barn full, and I'm not kidding. She's got tubs and tubs of Hot Wheels because her ex used to collect them.
There you
go. I mean, and I keep, they're not doing much good in the barn. You really should try to find. There's guys that'll buy those things.
Yeah.
For me, my dad was the Hess truck guy.
G.I. Joe.
Hess truck. Yeah.
G.I. Joe, but the Hess trucks. I remember the closet full of Hess trucks every year.
We may have a few of those at home.
Have you seen? This is not old, but it's old but now new. There's a new Thunderbirds.
The Thunderbirds.
Yeah, but this one is like a 3D animation one, and the stories are super good, and they're not stupid at all. Yeah, well, they're not puppets this time.
I'm wobbling, folks, and it's not because of alcohol or coffee.
Jerry Anderson and all those Jerry Anderson.
Yeah. But even that series, though, if you look at the amount of detail that they had to do, everything was this big. I'm holding
very
up
tiny, couple
2 inches.
Yep.
They were like maybe 6-7 inch things. All the buildings had to be that. Teacups, everything had to be in that size ratio, But this new one is really good. They're younger guys, and they're like in a school, and they're like, it's quite good if you ever get a chance. It's on Tubi or one of these
one of the things that I'm thinking of, it's this whole theme this week, is we grew up really messed up with the stuff if you think about watching some of this.
Oh, yeah.
I remember I thinking about Sigmund the Sea Monster.
Yeah.
They had like Shellfish Khan or somebody. But watching all this weird
it
stuff.
explains a lot.
Yeah, but you had the news was in Vietnam today, and the Soviets did this, and there's hijacking planes to Cuba, and somebody else got murdered today, and it was all this, and then you'd be like, whew, good, that's over, and then you turn on escapism because you couldn't handle it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I want to go to Living Island, get me out of here.
Yeah.
But the other one, have you ever seen, I've talked to Greg with this one a lot, even with Gwyneth Paltrow, it's worth one. Sky Captain of the World of Tomorrow.
Sky Captain.
I've heard of it.
I love it. And I can't believe it went under the radar so much.
Paltrow.
It was essentially...
Well, I would say she was in it. It's still good.
Well, her mother was pregnant with her in an episode of Columbo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's one where... What's her mom there, the actress?
Tess Hart. No, I forgot her name, and I know who it is.
Yeah, she's there's one where she's playing tennis, and Columbo starts hounding her, and she was pregnant when she was in that scene. So,
that's going to bother me.
Greg's looking it up.
Sorry, I'm looking. No, I'm.
See, we cheat, but that's actually
no. But Sky Captain was supposed to be the quote unquote first computer oriented movie back in the early 2000s. Like and I watched a special on it, and I was telling Rob. There's this room of computers, like giant, all these.
They're huge, yeah.
And because back then they had
your phone is like more powerful than about 100 of those.
But they would have everything was green screen or blue or whatever. But they would have something minimal for the actors, like a table or something, just so they have some sense of being in a room or something. And it's a really well done. And they stole a lot from the old Fleischer Supermans with the mechanical monsters. So all this stuff cycles back to the 40s and things. And
Lost in Space.
Yep.
Warning.
Did you see the pilot episode? That's out there streaming.
Is that the one where Dr. Smith is like really nasty and he goes to...
No, he wasn't even in it.
Oh, well, no, then I haven't. No.
And it was really good. And they land and they go through a couple of, perils and things, and
Cyclops,
then it just sort of ends with that serialized sort of ending.
What will happen next week?
Yeah, but
find out.
But that's the one I think about Columbo too. Watching those, both Kirk and Spock getting nabbed to be the bad guys.
Oh yeah, a couple of times. Ward Fowler, that's it, where he's there, and then the woman he kills was Peter Gunn's girlfriend. What was her name? But anyway, and then in that is. What's his name? Timothy, oh, God, I hate this. I'm sorry, folks.
No, that's the part of why we say we just throw it off the wing. We don't practice or anything, so you look it up.
Yeah, but it was a lot of people, and Walter Koenig's in that version, too. He's in there. He's a detective after checking on the murder scene. But
we have to do like a sequel to this. We do 6 Degrees of.
Well, I got to get my notes so I know what people's last names are.
I'm blanking.
It drives me nuts.
Paltrow's mom's name, which is driving me crazy.
Blythe Danner.
Blythe Danner.
There you go. It takes a while now.
There you go. You're welcome back.
Yeah.
But no, and I mean a lot of it. I mean that's the way too. It was just I think a lot of them. What's missing these days? Sometimes we take stuff too seriously. Everybody takes stuff too seriously. You go on Facebook. I've heard, like, a friend of mine actually got kicked out of a group because she liked green curry, and the person, it was a food group. Why don't we, one person got kicked out of a food because she liked some type of Fritos in the person. I mean, why don't we lighten up a little bit? It was, more fun,
You don't want to be mean to people, but you got to be able to take a joke, too. I mean, that's where... Yeah, it's kind of gone down. There's policing going on, which there shouldn't. When somebody's being a jerk, you tell them they're being a jerk. But, if you're just nudging people here and there, what the heck?
But I think, AI, too, I like the future of. The one thing I don't like is, in terms of CGI, it's like Deus Ex Machina, but who's going to remember, we're going to remember The Thing or Aliens. Ray Harryhausen. Who's going to remember these flashy effects?
Well, people are because they're real.
Peace, man.
We just had some hippie dude coming to give us
peace, man.
But what's the Time Police?
The Time Police.
The Time Police.
Starring Andy Calabrese.
Buddy Carlos. I'll never eat 2 cheeseburgers before I go to bed again. But I also want to count out, really give, not only your show, but I really want to listen to Dougie Curry's show if it was on.
Oh, man.
I love Dougie.
He
likes Zap Comics if you ever see him.
Oh, I see him now and again, yeah. We have meetings at the station. I see Doug.
And then, of course, my good friend Hannah, who's got... 4 hours.
Yeah, I know. I sat in for her the other day. So, yes, I know. It's a long time. I used to do 4 hours.
That's amazing. I couldn't even.
Well, I couldn't do it now. Maybe 3 I'd be good, but 4.
3 hours in a minute. But keep up and always support them. You can go support. They have fundraising drives, but Rochester Free Radio, where the Baron is, RUR, you can just go. Because it's very important to get different voices. You want to turn on the radio and get like some corporate stuff where all you do is hear,
whatever, but WXXI is the website you would go through to support WRUR and WITH in Ithaca as well. So.
A little too many numbers for me right there.
TheRoot.org, ROUTE.org.
Which I finally found out it was the root, not the root vegetable, like the vegetable people. But we have
any vegetable.
But we have something we're playing. I have no idea what it is, but I guess stay tuned and hear it, unless Greg wants to tell us.
He doesn't.
That?
He doesn't. Well,
the next song, Squire.
Keep listening. Whatever song we're going to play, Greg.
Oh, I got a song of mine. I'm going to put on there.
That doesn't mean stop the show now. Actually,
no.
Thanks a lot, Mike.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, I was drifting. Sorry.
Oh yeah. That's great.
intellectual top cat, whose intellectual close friends get to call him PC, providing it with dignity. Top cat, the indisputable leader of the gang. He's the boss, he's a bit, he's a championship, he's the most tip-top top cat. Yes, he's the chief, he's the king, but